Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kara and I make career, travel, and lifestyle content here on YouTube. So if any of that interests you, I would love to have you join the fam. Make sure that you subscribe to my channel and you turn on the bell so that you're notified anytime a video goes live. You guys, I recently celebrated a huge milestone. It is my 6-month career break anniversary, which I can't even believe that it's been 6 months since I quit my job of 8 years to travel the world and build my business. I didn't have another plan other than that. And let me just tell you, the past 6 months have been the most exciting, the hardest, the most anxiety inducing, but also the most proud I have felt of myself in a very long time. Making this decision to take a career break was not easy, and it used to be that having gaps in your resume was seen as a bad thing, but as people have begun to really search for what work-life balance means for them and really defining their own definition of success, it's not as taboo. So in today's video, we're going to be talking all about career breaks, what they are, how to decide if it's something that you want to do, the benefits, and of course, I'm going to share the biggest takeaways from this 6-month time period in my life. So without further ado, let's just hop right into the video. First, let's start with what is a career break, and this is not to be confused with a sabbatical. I typically see the words interchanged, and while they are similar, they do have their differences. A career break is when you leave your industry or your job for a certain period of time, and generally it's to pursue other interests or responsibilities. Whereas if you were to take a sabbatical, typically you are still affiliated with a company or an organization with a set return date. Now, the similarities between both career breaks and sabbaticals is again that you are planning to return to the workforce at some point in time, and that's how career breaks and sabbaticals differ from a retirement. As I mentioned at the start of this video, career breaks are becoming more and more common, and it's more acceptable for professionals to take this time off to pursue other interests, to care for family, to volunteer, to travel, or to consider a career transition. They can last anywhere from 2 months onward, but typically they will last between 6 months and a year. Now, before you just up and decide to take a year or even 6 months off work, it's really important that you consider why you are making this life-changing decision. Now, there are tons of reasons why you may decide to take a career break, so I'm just going to share a few. The first reason would be if you want to learn a new skill set. You can use your career break to gain practical experience and skills that will help you get a promotion, transfer into a new role, or enter into a whole new world of work. Experiences that push you out of your comfort zone and really broaden your horizons will ultimately help you no matter what you decide to do later on in life. Okay, so the next reason you may consider a career break is to spend time with family. A healthy work-life balance is crucial to maintaining a happy and fulfilled life, and it's something that we all deserve. So maybe you'd like to spend time with your family, enhance your friendships, or maybe you have responsibilities when it comes to caring for a relative. Taking a break from work could be that much needed opportunity to tend and support your loved ones. Another reason you may consider a career break is to reduce stress and just rejuvenate. So do you find yourself overworking? Are you burnt out? Do you feel like you need to care for your mental health? A career break will give you the space to do those things. Now, this is one of the reasons why I personally decided to take a career break because I was burnt out. I had been at the same company for 8 years, and not only was I doing my full-time statement of work, what I was getting paid to do, but I also had my hands in a lot of other projects off the side of my desk. I was leading a business resource group. I was a project manager for our historically Black colleges and universities, or HBCU strategy. I was on the planning committee for different conferences, and so I was just very busy, and I was burnt out. I was pouring into everyone and everything else without any regard to myself or ensuring that I was refilling my cup as I was pouring out. And at the end of it, I just found myself depleted. I found myself resentful and angry, and I knew that I wasn't bringing my best self to work anymore, and I knew that a career break would allow me to kind of recalibrate and ensure that I was prioritizing myself first. Another reason that I personally decided to take a career break, and you may relate to this as well, is I really just wanted to travel and work abroad. I have always had this as a goal and a dream of mine, but just never really felt like it was tangible. In college, I did short-term study abroad programs, the longest being like 3 weeks, and I really wanted to do a full semester abroad, but I never did because I was dating this guy at the time, and I just could not fathom leaving him for a whole semester. I couldn't fathom leaving my friends, missing homecoming, missing spring break. It was that fear of missing out that kept me from actually pursuing studying abroad. And if there's any regret that I have from my undergrad experience, it would be that. And that is why I am so adamant anytime I talk to undergrad students about encouraging them to study abroad, right? Like, the relationship will be there if it's supposed to be there. Your friends will be there if they're supposed to be there. Yes, you may be missing out on different experiences and events that are happening at your college, but you're also going to be gaining experiences that abroad that you will remember for the rest of your life. So taking a career break was my opportunity to really travel and give myself that experience that I so desperately wanted in college, but just didn't quite take advantage of. So, seeing the world is one of the most popular reasons people take a career break, and a lot of people find it hard to justify. While this decision does require really intentional planning, it could be the best move, the best decision that you ever make in your life, and I am living proof of that. Taking a break from work to travel will not only boost your confidence, widen your horizons, but it will also just bring new experiences to your life. And the last reason I'll share that you may consider a career break is to gain a new perspective. Whether you're considering a career break at 30 to reevaluate your life goals, or if you're considering a career change later on in life, a career break can give you the space to really contemplate what you want to do next. Especially if you're like me and you found yourself at the same company, you feel stagnant, you're not quite sure what you want to do next. A career break can give you the space to really think about what it is that you want to do next. And after a few months of contemplation and exploration, chances are you will be more clear about what it is that you want to do in your life. So those are just a handful of reasons that you may consider a career break. There are others that I did not mention, but the thing that I want to emphasize is that you get clear on the why. Why are you taking a career break? There is no right or wrong answer, but whenever you are making a life-changing decision, it is important that, again, you're understanding your reasoning behind doing it, because when it gets hard, when you're feeling confused, when you're frustrated, when you are doubting yourself, your why is going to be what keeps you in the game. Your why is going to remind you about the reason you did this in the first place. So make sure that you take some time to really think about what it is that you're wanting out of this career break and what it is that's motivating you to make this big change in your life. A career break is a great opportunity to dive into other parts of your personality and your life, and it will absolutely lead to new discoveries about yourself that may just surprise you. Now, while there are obvious benefits to taking a career break, there are also some challenges that you really need to consider. So here are some pros and cons to think about to ensure that it's the right decision for you. Let's start with the pros. Opportunities for growth, time for rejuvenation and reflection, ability to expand your network. You guys, I have met some of the best, most inspiring people while on my career break, and I absolutely know that our paths would not have crossed otherwise. Path to personal fulfillment, the space to explore a new direction in life, learning new skills, mastering a passion, and the list goes on. Now, like I said, with the pros also comes the cons that you must consider. For example, it could halt your career progress for longer than you expect. You may lose touch with colleagues within your industry. However, this one I feel like is a little easier to overcome with LinkedIn. It's really easy to stay connected. It may be harder to re-enter the workplace. Now, again, taking a career break and having a gap in your resume is not as taboo as it once used to be. And there are things that you can do to your resume to highlight the skills and experiences that you've learned away from the traditional workplace and what value that would bring to said company, organization, or whatever role that you are going to be looking to pivot into after your career break. Number 4, and this is a big one, a lack of steady flow of income. And this is why when you are thinking about a career break, it's really important to consider the financial risk that you are taking with no longer having a consistent paycheck from your full-time job. However, there are ways around it. For example, if you have other streams of income that can supplement you while you're on a career break, that's totally fine and actually highly recommended. And number 5, like I mentioned, you'll need to explain your break to the employer, but it's not so much of a con. Personally, for the few jobs that I've applied for since being on a career break, the conversation does come up, but typically it is very well regarded. People are very surprised that I've created this opportunity for myself, and generally I've received very positive feedback about my career break. So I'm not planning on rejoining the corporate workforce, but I did just kind of want to see if my resume and my experience is still competitive in the industry, and it is. So those are just a few pros and cons to consider when you are thinking about making this huge life-changing decision. As I reflect on my career break, the ups, the downs, and everything in between, the first thing that I feel is immense pride. Making the decision to leave this stable job and pursue the unknown was terrifying. And doing it despite other people's opinions or feedback, doing it even though I didn't have all of my ducks in a row and I wasn't quite sure how it was all gonna shake out. I'm so proud of myself for just doing it. I personally have never met anybody that took a intentional career break. And that's the other thing that I will mention, right? Career breaks can be both intentional and unintentional via layoffs, for example. When I set out on my career break, I did so with the intention of just that. I wanted to take a break. I mentioned that I was burnt out and just needed time to reset, but also I wanted to travel and I also wanted to work on building my business, and I'm so happy to say that I've been able to do each one of those things and more. So here are a few things that I've learned over the past 6 months. First and foremost, this is probably one of the most important things that I've learned, and that is like, it's okay to take a break. For the first few months of my career break, I really struggled with not doing anything. I felt lazy, I would feel guilty, and I had to remind myself that the whole reason I set out on this career break was to give myself a break from working. And so it was really about detaching my sense of value from the work that I was producing or what I was doing on a daily basis. And that was really, really hard. You know, there were days when I wanted to do something and I just couldn't because I was so mentally drained. And so if there's one thing that I would do differently, it's really embracing the fact that I was on a career break and being okay with not doing anything, you know, because when you're laying on the couch and you're taking a break, but in your mind, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so lazy right now. Like I could be doing this or that or this. You're not really resting. So if you're taking a career break, lean into the break part, okay? Like, don't feel guilty for not doing anything. If there are days when you want to just lay on the couch and watch Netflix, girl, you can do that. That is why you created this space in your life. So take advantage of it. Piggybacking on my last one, where I briefly mentioned that I had to detach my value from my job title or what certification I was working on or what award I received, that's another lesson that I took away from this career break. I realized that I was allowing my value to be derived from essentially what fit on my resume. I had truly lost sight of myself and the fact that I'm more than my career. Growing up, I was so focused on ensuring that I was a competitive candidate for colleges and then for internships and then for full-time jobs. And it led me to doing things specifically for my resume because I knew that it looked good and it sounded good. Well, that isn't sustainable, you know, and I think that's part of the reason why I burnt out, is because a lot of the things I was doing, I didn't really want to do, but I just felt like I had to do it because that's what other people expected of me and that's what fit well on my resume, and that was just like the next part of my journey. And so detaching myself from that was really, really important for me during this time period in my life. Something else that I learned is that there's never a perfect plan or a strategy. Sure, there are things that I would do differently, and I am currently working on launching my signature offer to help women take intentional and life-changing career breaks based off of my experiences, because I do think that there are things that I would have done differently. There are things that I did very well, but at the same time, it's never going to be perfect, and I'm figuring it out. I figured it out. And so if you're anything like me, a lot of the times you just want the plan completely laid out. I'm gonna do this, and then I'm gonna do this, and then I'm gonna do this. But a lot of the times it doesn't work like that. God really, really wants to know that you trust him by taking that first step, even if you don't see the whole staircase. And once you do that, the next step becomes available, and then maybe the next 2 steps, and then maybe the next 3. But it's all about just kind of trusting yourself as you're going along this journey and not falling victim to feeling like everything has to be perfectly planned out before you take the risk and you make the leap, because I promise you it won't be. And the last thing that I've really had to learn and come to terms with is really reconciling the person that I kind of thought I would be in this career that I was pursuing with this person that I'm growing into now and the path that I'm currently walking. I think reconciling the two was a really big lesson for me, and allowing myself to move into a new chapter without feeling guilty about letting the old one go. I think for so long I was straddling the fence because I was scared to fully commit, because, well, what if this doesn't work out, right? Like, I'm comfortable over here. I know that this works. I know how to navigate this space. But now you're telling me that I need to fully commit and be in this space that I am not sure about, and I don't know how it's going to turn out. But let me just tell you, straddling is extremely draining. And when you are making life-changing decisions, it requires 100% commitment. It requires 100% dedication. You cannot half-ass it. So if you've decided to take a career break because you want to do something different, give yourself a chance. Don't go back. Don't try to go back and forth, because it's going to take you longer, right? So make the decision, trust yourself, and stick with it. Don't allow fear to cause you to turn back to something that you know is no longer serving you, okay? Don't. All right, you guys, so with that, I'm gonna go ahead and end the video. But before I do, you may be wondering, okay, Kara, so what are you gonna be doing next? Well, I'm not jumping right back into a 9-to-5 just yet. I am going to continue building my business. I have a few clients that I am actually onboarding as we speak, which is really exciting, because when I first started my career break, I didn't even have my LLC, let alone paying clients. So to get to this point in my business within a few months is very encouraging to me, and I'm really excited about what's next. I also mentioned that I will be launching a signature offer to help women who want to take intentional life-changing career breaks. So if that is you, make sure that you're signed up for my newsletter, because my subscribers are going to be the first to know when that program is available and will receive a special discount. So make sure that you join my newsletter, fam. I'd love to have you. All right, you guys, so I'm gonna end the video here. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions about career breaks, or you want me to touch on any other topics, leave them down in the comments below. Again, this is kind of a new direction that I'm shifting my channel into, and I'm so excited for what's to come, right? Like this travelpreneur, contentpreneur Kara, I'm so excited for her to really make her appearance and to stop being scared. And that is what, if I don't leave you guys with anything else, if you don't take anything else away from this video, I hope that you feel encouraged to do it scared. Whatever it is that you are avoiding doing because you're not sure how it's going to work out, or because you don't have all the answers, or because you don't know anybody else who's done it, I hope that you feel encouraged to just try it. You know, you're not going to know unless you do it. And so, yes, if I can do it, I promise you, if I can do it, you can do it too. So thanks so much for watching today's video, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.